DVS, which is short for digital vinyl systems, is one of the oldest forms of digital DJing. It uses special timecode records, CDs, or even USB flash drives with turntables or DJ media players to control your digital DJ software. Now, once you enable DVS in your software, you get the choice of 4 play modes instead of just the one you get without DVS. Learning how and when to use each of these play modes is the key to getting the most out of your DVS software. So in this video, I'll go through what each play mode is and when to use it. So if you're interested in more tips and tricks videos just like this one, make sure you subscribe to this channel. So now let's go through each of the DVS play modes and when to use them. Now the first DVS play mode that I like to go through is called Absolute Mode. Now Absolute Mode will give you the most vinyl-like experience when using a DVS. Now what I mean by that is, just like a real vinyl record, the song starts at the very first groove of the timecode vinyl. So you notice I put the needle to the record, and then I have to wait until it hits that first groove before the song starts. And just like a real piece of vinyl, I can skip around the song by picking up the needle and dropping it at different points.
Tell me what you want to do. Tell me what you
Now, one problem with that is, just like a real piece of vinyl, if you're in a real bassy environment or maybe the turntables are on a kind of shaky surface, if the needle skips around, the song will skip. Now, one big drawback to using Absolute Mode is that you don't get a lot of the modern digital DJ features such as cue points and looping. So for example, if you look at the deck right here, the actual looping controls are missing when in Absolute Mode. When compared to this deck in Relative Mode, you can see the looping control here. Now, as I play the song, you can see that as I hit the cue points, nothing happens because there is no cue points in Absolute Mode, only in the other modes that you can find when using a DVS. This mode was very popular for DJs making that initial transition from vinyl to a digital DJ software because it felt the most comfortable, because it really played like actual vinyl. So if you're a DJ that's trying to make the transition from playing real records to playing with a DVS, this might be the mode for you to kind of get your feet wet, to get the idea of how timecode works with the digital DJ software. Now the second play mode that I'd like to go through is Relative Mode, and it's actually probably the most used play mode when using DVS. So just like Absolute Mode, Relative Mode uses the timecode on your turntable or media player, but in this case, it kind of turns your turntable or CD player into more of a jog wheel like a DJ controller. Now what I mean by that is, unlike Absolute Mode, if I drop the needle at any point on the record, it'll go ahead and pick up from the same point. So unlike Absolute Mode, where if the needle skips, the song will skip forward or backward, in Relative Mode, it'll still stay at the exact same place. So this is really handy in bass-heavy environments, or just places where, you know, the needle might skip, maybe the turntables aren't in the best condition, or maybe your needles aren't in the best condition. Relative Mode will give you the best playback if you want this kind of tactile vinyl or CD player control. Now, another big point of using Relative Mode is that you get the modern features that digital DJ software has to offer, like cue points. So I can skip around using cue points. And I can activate my loops. All of these are possible when using Relative Mode, which aren't possible when using Absolute Mode. So if you're playing in most clubs, you know, bass heavy, loud clubs, I would recommend using Relative Mode. It's going to give you the best performance. But if you're used to playing on regular vinyl and you're used to, you know, starting the record here, you might need a little bit of adjustment to actually just not worry about it and just let the vinyl play from any point, which can be really handy later on when you're mixing fast and you don't have time to be resetting the needle at every song. So chances are, if you're using DVS in a really loud setting or a club setting, I'd recommend using Relative Mode. Now the third play mode we'll go over is Internal Mode. Now Internal Mode bypasses the timecode signal completely, and it allows you to control your digital DJ software with either the mouse and keyboard or a controller. Now if you're using a software like Serato DJ, Virtual DJ, or Traktor Pro and you're using it with a controller, Internal Mode is actually the mode you're using in that software. Now one cool thing that Internal Mode does is, if you're playing on media players such as CDJ 2000 Nexuses, you can use Internal Mode to access what's called HID mode, which turns the media players into controllers instead of having to use timecode on USB sticks or CDs. Now this can be really handy if you're in a situation where you're not getting a strong signal from the turntable or CD player, or maybe just one side's completely bad and you still need a mix. You can throw one side into internal mode and still play, using the actual keyboard on your computer, and still use the other side in a regular timecode mode. So you still are able to mix and still able to use the software even if one side or even both sides are bad. So the last play mode that you'll find in the DVS is called THRU mode. Now THRU mode will actually take the deck in your DJ software and turn it into an auxiliary input. So for instance, right now I have a timecode vinyl on and I'm in relative mode, and I can play the song that's playing in my DJ software. But if I wanted to play a real vinyl record, I would have to switch it to THRU mode. Then I could switch to a real vinyl record and have that play. Now notice in the software, the deck's grayed out and it's not moving. That's because it's in THRU mode and it's waiting for you to switch back to relative mode if you'd like to play in your software. So if you're the type of DJ that likes to mix in some real vinyl in your DJ sets, you're gonna have to use THRU mode to get that done. Newer DVS DJs are sometimes unsure of when and why to use the different modes their DVS has to offer. Although most DJs will spend the majority of their time in relative mode, each mode can be used effectively in certain situations. Now, for example, learning to use internal mode with a mouse and keyboard has saved me more times than I'd like to count, and if I hadn't taken the time to learn this technique, I wouldn't have been able to make it through many gigs. The better you understand the features your DJ software has, the more you can get out of it. Now, as a DVS user, which mode do you find yourself using the most? And which one do you find yourself using the least? Go ahead and leave that down in the comments below. And do you have any specific DVS tips and tricks? We'd love to hear about those in the comments below as well. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel for more tips and tricks videos just like this one. Now, get good, get out there, and make the moments.